Hey everybody, this is James from South Texas RC and
BRB Racing.
And today is my birthday. I'm out here at the Texas Roadhouse here in San Antonio, Texas. I know I promised y'all a video today, guys, but I haven't gotten to it yet. I also wore my Traxxas brand hat out here, get some more people some exposure to the hobby. Haven't asked what this is. Hopefully get some more people involved in the hobby, guys. But I know that I said I was going to do a video on the outcast for the lights. I haven't forgotten about y'all. So it's going to be a happy birthday. Let's get lit. Don't mean alcohol, guys. Maybe right now, but not for the video. So yes, the lights are in for the Outcast, and I've also set up a creation for the lights on the X-Max. So I'm going to roll this into the video later on, and that way we're going to have a really good time doing this. I've got everything set up, ready to rock and roll. What do you think, Beth? Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this video, and like I said, we'll roll the rest of the clips together for the X-Max. Hopefully we'll get to some of it tonight, maybe tomorrow, and the Outcast. Alright everybody, so let's get this underway. This is going to be part of the series of Let's Get Lit on the RC. The lights are in that my wife ordered me as a gift. Of course, like I said in the other videos, guys, I was kind of on the fence about it a little bit because it was coming from her, where she basically gets her nail supply stuff, is an Etsy account. And there was, you know, she showed me a picture, and I'm like, yeah, those would be cool. And she ordered them for me. They came from a place called RC Lighthouse. And I tell you what, these are super impressive. And of course, here's the information on the back of their card here if you want to contact them. But I tell you what, I was surprised when I plugged them in. They are just absolutely super bright, super cool, clean setup. But in addition to hooking them up, it didn't come with instructions in the bag. Now here's the kicker. So I go to hook them up like normal lights that you would find at most of your hobby stores. That would either plug into, you know, like the accessory wire that hooks up to your fan, or you would take it, you know, inside to the control and hook it up. And I was like, these things are not bright at all. So it came with, you know, of course I'm fooling around with it going, why in the world is there a balance plug on here? So I'm like, okay, well, let me just plug this directly in, you know, to the fan lead, and I've barely got any light. And I was like, okay, I'm doing something wrong. So I went back to the guy's website, and I was like, oh yeah, that's why I included a balance cord, because you hook it directly to your 3S pack. Duh, dummy me. So I plug them in to the battery pack, and I'm just like, okay, George. Plug in the battery, and I've got it pointed at me like this, and about blew my eyeballs out of my socket. You know what, before I even start doing the install, let me grab a battery real quick and show you all exactly how bright these things are. So give me 1 second. Alright, so I've got a battery here. Like I said, it was, to me, I was like, wow, neato. Super bright. So plug these in. I'm going to point them away from myself, so I don't want to go blind. But that's how bright these lights get. And of course, you know, we'll plug them in again after we do the install on the body. But like I said, guys, super bright, super cool. I started thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? These are basically lights that can take a tolerance of about 12 volts. I swear I have seen something like this before at a parts store, at an O'Reilly's. Sure enough, yes. O'Reilly's does have them. They only have them in the whites, the one store I went to. They can order them in the blues. But the price, I believe, is $14.99 just to buy the package of lights alone. And I want to say this was 17 bucks for the whole thing. 17, 18 bucks. We'll say maybe 20 bucks. We'll round it off. We'll say 20 bucks. And it came with all the wiring. And just this cord alone, because I went to go buy a cord because I have another project in mind for the X-Max, and I wanted to wire it up the same and do the same thing with the super bright lights. You know, this thing alone is 5 bucks right here. So, you know what? Have an RC Lighthouse put these together for you. Might be cheaper, but if you want to do it yourself, I will show you how to do that also. But until then, let's go ahead and get on this. So rule of thumb is you want to make sure that the size that's going to be going through, you want something that's going to be the same size bit, not larger than that, because then you won't be able to screw your light in. Of course, like I said, once again, there's no instruction that show the sizes. So this bit is going to be, what is that, a 23, let's say 23.6. Let's see what 1132s, what 1132s looks like. I'm going to have to say it's most likely going to be, well, maybe 1132s. Let's go smaller. This one is going to be a 2164. And last but not least is going to be a 5/16. Let's go ahead and try 5/16 first. And let's see exactly how this is going to look. So of course with the Outcast body, the decal stickers are pretty well marked with an X for you. That way you can just go straight in the center of the X and drill out your hole. It might be a little bit bigger, but always start smaller. It's better to go smaller and then increasingly go bigger. That way you don't end up making your hole too big. But we will have the magic bit size for y'all here in a second if you got these type of lights anyway. So let's see what we got. Push the cord through. So yeah, too small. I'm going to go ahead and jump up to a 1132s. I'm going to jump a couple of bit sizes. Still not 1132s. Jump up to 3/8. Well, 3/8 is a little snug. Biggest bit I have in there, so it's going to be a 3/8 drill bit with a little bit of waller around to get it to go in. There we go. So if I grab a pair of pliers and snug it up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead, make pause the video for the sake of time. I'm going to drill the other hole, tighten these down, and then show you how I'm going about, tucking up the wire. Okay, so I went ahead already, drilled the other hole, tightened down the nuts. That's what the finished product on the outside is going to look like. And even before we strap the wires, let me plug it in now and show you all what it looks like on the body. Okay, so what I've decided, looking at where everything drops down, about right in here is where the battery pack is going to be sitting to plug in the wire. So I thought the best way of doing this
is going to be, of course, use some Gorilla Tape. And when you're installing stuff in here, guys, make sure you do it nice and clean. Don't have it all ugly. If you have an ugly setup, it's just going to look ugly, and if you don't take your time on it, it's also going to most likely fall apart quite easily. So I thought ahead. I'm going to use some Gorilla Tape. I'm going to say probably a square about this big is going to work on the side right here. So bring this over. Let's bring it into the center of the truck, away from the actual tires. Place the tape down. Massage it on there. Make sure you get it on there nice and secure. And then what I was thinking for the additional wire, let's go ahead and bind this up, because I want it to be able to come down to the battery, of course, and have some free play to actually put on the hood. So I'm going to say right about there should be good. Oh yeah, that's good for some free play and distance to reach up underneath. So on this bundle of wires, I'm going to go ahead and zip tie this set together. Okay. And these we're going to tuck down probably right here against the windshield area on the inside. Use this piece of tape here. Back a little bit. Push that wire in a little deeper. Probably go with another piece right across here to help secure also. Let's cut one about yay length. I put another small tab there. Actually, it's going to swing over to the other side of the truck. Put it on the battery side here. Yeah, that should be good. That'll give them a nice little reach over. Drop it down to the battery pack. Hook it up. Should have actually had the wire facing the other side, it looks like. Just snatch this off real fast. Spin around the orientation here of the wire. The one on the battery pack side. Should be good. Now we're on the battery pack side. So that was a little boo-boo I had there, but nothing big, nothing major. That's how I want it to come down. So now we got the wires taped in. You don't want this thing dangling all around on the inside, so we've got some Velcro. So what I decided to do with the Velcro is that you can put either side, doesn't matter, tooth or furry, doesn't matter. Let's take the wire and place it onto the wire itself, and then fold it. Okay, right like so. So you don't want to have this just swinging about if you're not using your lights. Take the other side of the Velcro. I'd say, let's shorten it just a little bit, because you got the roll bar screws coming through in here. Let's just place that in here. So now you can take your lights, set them up on your Velcro. No issues, no problems. Nothing binding up, nothing dropping, nothing getting in the way. Quick and convenient. So that, guys, is going to be the install of the lights on the Outcast. Of course, we'll roll the truck over here and do just, I guess, a quick drop the battery in. So we'll say the battery's in the truck right now. Strap down. Perfect length. Stick the body on. Make sure nothing else is going to be whipping around or touching on the tires. Looks pretty good to me. Go ahead and get a different view here going to the truck now. So there you have it. That is the Outcast with the light kit on it. And of course, I thought about putting a backlight on this truck, but there's not really that much room. I could if I wanted to wire additional lighting in there, but I think I'm just going to only run with the fronts on this one. So that's what it's going to look like. Now, another thing that I had mentioned too about the Outcast running the 4S battery was, yeah, it's great, it's fast, it's super, it's violent, it flips, it flies. To be honest with you, on 4S, this truck, more along the line, gets airborne, flies off, and starts wanting to do cartwheels in the air when you run it wide open. Last time I showed this truck just running around with it, I was running the controller on 75. I have not yet go to test it on my new setup. So yeah, guys, I'm only running this as a 3S, not the 4S. So I went ahead and took it down to where it only has one plug now instead of two. And I had the soldering kit that I have here wasn't strong enough to actually do the solder work, so that's the solder work that was done here in San Antonio by Alamo City Hobby Shop over on Bandera Road. So shout out to George. Beautiful work. The man takes his time. I also had him do a couple of battery packs to restore the ends for me. I tell you what, that looks like factory brand new. I watched him do this, and he takes his time and he does it right. So if you guys want a beautiful solder job done, check out Alamo City Hobby Shop over there on Bandera Road, because he will do you right on this. But yep, that's that. Now, let me go grab part 2 of this. So here is part 2. This is some nice looking little LED cones. And I've already rigged it up a little bit on the X-Max of how I'm going to do it, placing these in the front bumpers. The one kit I had went bad, so I had to go back to AutoZone and get a different kit, so I got to start all over again. So what I did is I punched this little piece out on the inside, took this off, made this hole bigger, and set these two side by side in the front bumper. And in the back, I got a red LED for a trailer and put that as my brake light.
But this one here is going to be a little unique because the simple fact of it is it's going to have flashers on it. And of course I've got different speeds on the flasher to play with. Let me try to hold the button and the light at the same time here. Let's let them dangle. So super high speed. And it has an on and off button. So on the next video, guys, we will show you the X-Max getting lit. So until next time, guys, if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, hit that like. Until next time, guys, this is James from South Texas RC and BRB Racing, and I am out.